Okay, we're in a new part of the house. We had some water damage here and the ceiling was sagged, as you can see. So we were trying to find 8.5 mil. Then we chalked that line. So we knew that is running in the center of the timber, parallel to here. Then once we did that, we got our laser and then we followed that line and we got a nice 90-degree angle here. Alright, that's pretty much it for this part as well. Just got to make sure the screws are in. Make sure we don't have any other fixing to do. Then we're going to tape and mud all of these. Okay, we're all ready to go. We've got all our fixing done. Everything's ready to go. I've got our mud. We've got a little bit of accelerant here, which is going to make this first coat go off a bit quicker. So just sprinkle some in there, not too much. That way we've mixed some up in the bucket and that'll still be good for the second coat. We won't have to mix up again, we won't have to clean the bucket. It's all going to dry faster so we can do our next coat. So I'll just go around and I'll pretty much fill every gap quickly. We are going to use fiber fuse like we normally do, really good. If you're just starting out, I recommend fiber fuse because it doesn't bubble. You should keep a screwdriver with you in case there are any screws popping out. You do the TV one, G. All right, it's all pre-filled. Now, line it up. Skim over the joint. Use your 6-inch knife for this. Here's our fiber fuse. It's nice and flat. Like I said before, it doesn't bubble. and get that half on the joint. You don't need to push too hard, but just make sure it's firm. There we go. I'm going to go through, we'll get the whole lot taped, and then we're going to skim over the top. You want it fairly consistent, especially if you're using paper. Make sure there's mud under the paper or it's going to bubble. This can kind of blend through and you don't have to worry about that as much. We're going to start with the 6-inch, then I'm going to probably glaze with the 8 or the 10. Get it nice and flat on this first coat. So I do have to move pretty quick because I do have that accelerant in. And yeah, since I started out, we've really honed our skills and figured out the quickest way to do things using accelerant. Well, we used to use salt actually, and I thought salt was really good. I thought it was cheap, but this accelerant, it's actually cheaper. Cheaper than the salt. Works better. And it's recommended. Sprinkle a little bit more in. Not too much. Don't need too much. Get a bit of a mix. Hawk is good because you can kind of use it to catch your mud. And if your mud isn't too runny, that's why you use a hawk. Found people who tape in with really runny mud, they use pans because it's easier to contain. Alright, now I'm going to get a different blade. Just going to get my 10. And just float over it. Just so flat. Give it a little bit of a head start for the next round. That's good. That's how you want the first coat. Looks really good. Screw sticking out. Okay, that's that one done. Okay. That's the first coat done. Taped, first coated, it's looking nice and flat. Second coat, we're going to go over it again with a bit bigger blade. Third coat, a bigger blade again. Here was the third patch we were doing. Eugene's just skimming it out. Looking good. Should dry nice and quick. That's looking nice and flat.
It's got a natural light.
Yeah.
And TV. They're going to be looking here all the time.
It's going to be right above the TV, so. Using that big blade really gets it nice and flat. That's some good advice. When I started using a big blade, you know, to do this, it goes a lot better. Alright, so we're going to let that dry a little bit and go over it again. 2 more coats, 2 more.